All right, heads up. This video might be more controversial than usual, but I'm going to be candid. I'm pissed and need to pour it all out. So buckle up, Buttercup. Today we're diving into a tale as old as family politics itself. But this time, the stakes couldn't be higher. It's old school respect versus all-out rebellion. A family feud tearing at the very heart of the Republican Party. And it's not just a spat, it's about the soul of the party. Right now, we got MAGA Republicans going head-to-head with Reagan Republicans, clashing in comments and sparking heated spats. In my videos, especially the shorts, look at the comments. I mean, damn, that's a lot of hate. Before we jump in, let me say something I don't usually put out there. I've got friends and family who are MAGA Republicans. I love them dearly. And we have a lot in common, but the second I press them on the principles beneath the politics, they get tense. They get downright combative. And I can see the frustration flicker in their eyes when I ask for details. And to me, it feels like they're mostly repeating what they've heard rather than truly understanding it. I'm not trying to pick a fight. I just want to understand where they're coming from, but man, does it get heated fast. And honestly, sometimes I just want to give them a hug because they need it. You see, as a first responder, a pilot, and a journalist, and just as a person, I believe in finding facts first and facing them before making a call. I don't jump to conclusions. I try to rely on reason and respect. But the other day, I got a comment that stuck with me. Someone said, "Why can't MAGA think without hate?" So today I'm doing something different. I'm dropping my guard. I'm speaking my mind, and I'm laying it all out. This is exactly how I feel. You can blame me for this or understand where I'm coming from as a Reagan Republican. But honestly, I can't, for the life of me, understand why we're ditching facts, shunning solutions, and leaving logic behind. Why are we throwing away reason and respect instead of leading like a world power should? Instead of lighting the whole damn house on fire? In this video, we're going to break down why this divide is getting so heated, how these two groups wound up so far apart, and where this all might lead. I mean, stick around because by the end, you'll see why this isn't just about slogans or policy. It's about the very future that everyone's fighting for. Let me give you a quick story. Imagine you're back in school. There's a big problem that affects the whole class. Maybe it's a project you're working on. Now, there are two approaches people can take. Some will want to understand the issue by learning from all sides, gathering information, making smart decisions. Then there's the school bully. The bully's approach, force and intimidation. Instead of talking things out, he just shoves people aside, convinced he knows best. He won't listen to anyone else, and he's dead set on pushing through his way, even if it's not the smartest approach. And that's exactly what we're seeing today in the Republican Party. On one side, we have Reagan Republicans who believe in understanding issues fully, weighing the pros and cons, and making decisions that last. On the other, the MAGA Republicans who see compromise as weakness and are willing to push their views at all costs. I mean, think about abortion. For them, power and intimidation are the answer, and they'll steamroll anyone who doesn't agree. They don't just want a voice in the party. They want the party. They want to control every policy and decision from top to bottom. Now let's zoom in. Picture Jim, a classic Reagan Republican, and Mike, a fierce MAGA supporter, having a conversation about what's best for America. Jim believes in steady, sensible policies, the kind that build up the economy for everyone. But Mike, he's all about shaking up the system, and he doesn't want to hear about caution or compromise. Jim tries to explain something he knows well, like tariffs. He's seen how they can impact the economy, even cause inflation if they're not handled carefully. But Mike, he's heard over and over that tariffs make other countries pay, and he's convinced they're the perfect way to show America's strength. Jim tries to break it down for him, saying, Mike, dude, that's not how it works. It's American businesses that pay those tariffs when they import goods. And then those costs get passed down to you and me, the consumers. He even brings up the Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act from the Great Depression, how those tariffs backfired big time and drove prices up for everyone. But Mike's not having it. He's heard what he's heard, and to him, Jim's just another establishment guy who doesn't get it. And just like that, the conversation isn't a debate anymore. It's a showdown. Mike hurls insults, calling Jim soft, out of touch, even a traitor to the cause. For Mike, it's not about facts or history. It's about sticking to what he believes, and he's willing to fight anyone who doesn't see it his way, even a fellow Republican. And honestly, it just floors me. We've come to a point where facts and logic don't even matter or enter the conversation. It's all about holding a line, about shouting the loudest and not letting go, even if that approach brings down the whole damn place. I mean, what happened to thinking things through, to respecting different perspectives? This story isn't just about Jim and Mike. It's about a deeper split tearing through the Republican Party. On one side, you've got folks like Jim who want to protect stability, who think that how you get things done matters. On the other, people like Mike who are convinced that drastic change is the only way forward, and they're not afraid to burn bridges to get it. So how do we get here? How do these two visions grow so far apart to the point where a policy like tariffs could spark an argument this heated? Well, let's break down why these insults are flying and how we got to this level of division and where this could all lead. So let's start with the basics. Think of Reagan Republicans as the old guard conservatives. For them, it's all about values. Small government, strong economy, and diplomacy first. They believe in order, respect, and a certain dignity that Ronald Reagan brought to the party in the 1980s. It was a time when being a Republican meant optimism and strong alliances, strength with grace. But MAGA Republicans, they're after a very different vision. They're loud, they're bold, and they're ready to tear down the whole damn system if it means getting what they want. They don't see tradition, they see a broken system. And here's where the clash begins, because to MAGA Republicans, Reagan's nice guy approach seems weak, even cowardly. What a pussy. They think the old guard cares more about how things look than getting things done. For MAGA Republicans, it's not about playing nice, it's about fighting hard, even if it means calling out their own party and family and friends. They think Reagan Republicans are soft, out of touch, and maybe worst of all, part of the swamp. And here's where the name-calling starts. For MAGA Republicans, calling Jim a rhino isn't just an insult. It's a rejection of everything he stands for. They want Jim gone because they see him as an obstacle, a relic of the past that doesn't work anymore. Jim's seen a lot of change, but believes there's value in tradition. He believes in compromise and diplomacy and getting to solutions through teamwork. For Jim, politics is like building a house. It's slow, steady, and sometimes requires a little give and take. You can't build it in a day, and you sure can't build it if you're at each other's throats the whole time. But Mike, he's younger, louder, and not willing to sit around waiting. Mike's the guy who grew up during the Clinton years, who saw the country shift and feels like it got lost. His energy is electric, and he's ready to break down walls to rebuild America from scratch. To him, Jim's style of politics is pointless. Why compromise when, in his eyes, it's the other side that's the enemy? For Mike, it's not about slow, steady progress. It's about change now, no matter what the cost. And if Jim doesn't get that, well, to Mike, Jim's just another Republican in name only. Take a second. Think about what you believe should define the party. Are they Jim's values? Are they Mike's? Or maybe they're somewhere in between, because at the end of the day, when politicians refuse to meet in the middle, it's you and me who end up getting left behind. And here's the sad truth. All this division comes at a price. When you're busy fighting each other, you're not solving problems. Legislation stalls, policies die, and Americans are left without the help they need. Jim knows this, and he sees it as a real heartbreaking tragedy. But Mike and his friends? They see it as the price of draining the swamp, of tearing down what they think is broken. It's ironic. Jim, like those Reagan Republicans, sees himself as a true conservative. Someone who values stability, who believes in the power of diplomacy and respect. And he would argue that he's actually fighting to preserve what America's always stood for. But for Mike, compromise is betrayal, and he's willing to throw tradition and alliances out the window if it means getting his vision of America. So, where does this leave the Republican Party? Can Jim and Mike ever find common ground? Or is the gap just too damn big, too wide, too raw, too much to mend? All right, well, if this got you thinking, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and boop that notification bell for more Old Guy Insights videos like this one. And here's a question for you. Where do you think the party goes from here? Drop it in the comments, because these are your values, your future, and your voice. Hey, YouTube says this video here is the best one for you to watch next. Thanks for watching, and until next time, please stay awesome, keep learning, and always try to do good things. See ya.